Hi, welcome back to Transit Talk, where we explore the astrological energies of the week to help you navigate your journey with confidence and insight. I'm your host, Shanice, and this week we're looking at the transits from August the 19th through August the 25th, 2024. Our guiding tarot card this week is the Eight of Wands, bringing us themes of growth, forward movement, and new opportunities. Grounding this energy is the Hermit, which encourages introspection, wisdom, and patience. So, after last week's stimulating Mars Jupiter conjunction and gaining clarity in regards to our situations, this week this week's energy invites us to take more focused and strategic actions towards our goals. Whether you're feeling ready to re-enter the world after some solitude or you just need some time to reconnect with yourself, this week's transits support both approaches. So let's get into this week's transits. On Monday, August the 19th, 2024, we start the week off with some action-driven and motivating aspects. The moon in Aquarius trines Mars in Gemini. This is giving us a boost of energy and drive, which is perfect for action on our goals. Things could feel like they're moving quickly and there's a sense of momentum building. This transit is happening while most of us are asleep, but over the weekend, be mindful because we entered the full moon's energy. So we've been feeling this since Saturday. Again, while most of us are asleep, Venus in Virgo opposes Saturn retrograding in Pisces. You might have went to bed feeling a bit down about your relationships or finances, or you might wake up feeling this way. If you're feeling this way, reflect on where you need to balance your desires with realities. Are you taking the necessary actions to attract what you want? Where do you need to direct your focus instead of getting caught up in daydreams? Venus is now in Virgo and she's asking us to take practical approach. So are you balancing the physics versus the metaphysics? This is a time to do so if you aren't. In so many words, Venus in Virgo is all about getting real. So she's asking us to get real. When most of us are just waking up or commuting to work and or school, the moon in Aquarius will sextile Chiron in Aries. This transit is bringing an opportunity for healing and growth through our actions. It's time to address any lingering issues with a sense of optimism and forward movement. This is a great morning to take healing actions towards your goals. What, in regards to your situation, have you been doing repeatedly that isn't helping you? Now is the time to stop doing that thing. A little later in the morning, the moon in Aquarius will oppose Mercury retrograding in Leo. This could lead to some miscommunication hiccups or misunderstandings, so try to be clear and intentional with your words. Be careful not to say something you don't mean and can't take back. The sun in Leo will then square Uranus in Taurus, followed by the moon squaring Uranus in Taurus. These aspects could bring some unexpected changes or disruptions. So try to stay flexible and open-minded and be adaptable to something happening on Monday morning that could like disrupt all of your plans for the day pretty much, or maybe the week. Try to be open-minded because this situation is probably helping you get closer to whatever it is you're trying to manifest. Think of it that way. So this could also show up as feeling a bit conflicted about yourself. So just try to remember that trying to manifest your desires may seem a bit far-fetched at first, but it's because you're stepping out of your comfort zones. So be patient with yourself and just take it one day at a time. On Monday afternoon is the full moon in Aquarius. So full moons are times of culmination for the month. And this in the sign of Aquarius, this one emphasizes innovation, community, and breaking free from old patterns. This is a powerful moment of the month to release what's been holding you back and to embrace new ways of thinking, especially with the sign of Aquarius. Given this intense energy earlier in the day, use this full moon to reflect on what changes are needed to align more closely with your personal growth and community goals. What makes you stand out? And what is that thing that makes you stand out that you can bring to those communities you choose to build with? Aquarius is a sign that loves innovation and large scale thinking. So think outside the box. Where are you limiting yourself and not thinking outside the box? Aquarius reminds us that old structures can be rebuilt and that things don't always have to remain the same. So look at your birth chart to see if you have a T square forming in the late degrees of the fixed signs. This is having placements in all of the fixed signs in all of the houses. If so, this full moon could be highlighting where you need to break a pattern. This is very important if you have all of the fixed houses being illuminated this full moon. So look at your chart to see if you have any placements currently in your natal chart or transiting all of the fixed signs, because that is a T square and this is really, really important, an important full moon for you. The fixed signs are Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. So later in the afternoon, Jupiter in Gemini will square Saturn retrograding in Pisces. This can create a feeling of tension between expansion and responsibility. You might feel torn between wanting to grow and needing to address limitations or responsibilities. This transit can manifest as us feeling restricted or stagnant, like we have too much to do and not enough time. This could also manifest as us more focused on being disciplined towards our responsibilities and the challenges we're facing. In the afternoon, try to reflect back to the Hermit tarot card that's reflecting out through this week's transit. I don't know why it was so hard for me to say that. The Hermit's energy towards your situation is to take a step back, reflect on your priorities, and ensure that you are aligned with your long-term goals, or that you're taking actions that are aligned to your long-term goals. The moon will then enter Pisces later on Monday, shifting our inner worlds to being more intuitive and reflective for the energy for the evening. This is a perfect time to wind down, tune into your inner world, and let the day's events settle. It's a great time to reflect and write down any of your manifestations for the full moon in Aquarius. Whether you're journaling, meditating, or simply reflecting, the transits for the evening support this time for introspection and connection with your inner wisdom and higher self. Tuesday, August the 20th, 2024, the moon is in Pisces all day, keeping the energy sensitive, intuitive, and introspective. The moon is void for most of the day, which makes it a good a good time for routine tasks, self-care, and going with the flow rather than starting anything new. This Tuesday is a good day for inner reflection and recharge before the next wave of transits. So in the evening on Tuesday, so this is later in the evening, the moon in Pisces will form a conjunction with Saturn retrograding in Pisces. So this is bringing a more serious, sobering tone to the evening. This aspect asks us to reflect on our emotional responsibilities and the structures we've built around our feelings. It's a good time to assess whether these structures are still serving us. The moon in Pisces will then square Jupiter in Gemini, which can create a sense of emotional overload, feeling overwhelmed, or feeling the feeling of being pulled in too many directions. Take a step back and focus on what truly matters to you. Try to stay focused on your goals. If you're on the negative expression of this transit, retreat, reflect, and recalibrate. The Hermit encourages that for us throughout the week. I'm probably going to repeat that throughout this episode. This is a great time to pray, meditate, and do something relaxing before bed. Now, on Wednesday, August the 21st, 2024, we start the day with the moon in Pisces opposite Venus in Virgo, which could bring some sense of tension in relationships or around self-worth. It's important to approach any issues with compassion and understanding. Take a more practical approach if this is your situation. The moon will then square Mars in Gemini, which can stir up frustrations or impatience. This aspect might make it difficult to stay calm, so be mindful of how you express your emotions and avoid any unnecessary arguments or confrontations. So, this is on Wednesday morning. We might feel this way. So, try to meditate, stay very prayerful on Wednesday morning. So, in the afternoon, the moon will sextile Uranus and Taurus, the moon still being in Pisces. So, this is bringing some unexpected insight or innovative thinking. This aspect supports thinking outside the box and embracing new ideas. So, you might gain some insight on a situation you were stagnant in. The moon will then conjunct Neptune retrograding in Pisces right before it enters Aries. This is enhancing our intuition and creativity. This is a great time for some artistic or spiritual activities. So we might be feeling deeply connected and sensitive to those around us. So be mindful of that as well. Potentially feeling a bit more empathetic on Wednesday evening or headed into Wednesday evening. In the evening, the moon will then enter Aries, shifting the emotional energy to something more dynamic and action oriented. Shortly after it enters Aries, the moon will sextile Pluto retrograding in Aquarius, encouraging us to take empowered action. Where can you step into your personal power more and embody it unapologetically? The astrology for this week supports this, even if initially we feel uncomfortable about doing so. On Thursday, August the 22nd, 2024, when we are waking up or at work, the sun will enter Virgo, shifting the focus to details, health, and practical matters. This is illuminating the house of Virgo, or where Virgo sits in your natal chart for the next 30 days. So Virgo season is all about refining our routines, getting organized, and focusing on the small things that make a big difference. In the evening, Venus in Virgo will square Mars in Gemini, which could bring some tension in relationships or around our desires. This aspect can create a bit of push-pull dynamic, so making it important for us to find balance between what we want and how we go about getting it, with Mars representing how we take action and Venus representing our desires. Later on Thursday evening, when most of us are going to bed or asleep, the moon in Aries will sextile Jupiter in Gemini. So most of us are probably feeling optimistic about our situation this week or seeing new opportunities in regards to it. This aspect in the positive expression is taking inventory on the things in your life you are grateful for and bringing an expansive and optimistic energy to the evening. This is a great time to connect with others before bed, sharing your ideas and embracing new opportunities. This could also be you feeling more confident about whatever situation you've been going through. On Friday, August the 23rd, 2024, we start the day with the moon in Aries, forming a sextile to Mars in Gemini, bringing a burst of energy and motivation to our Friday. This is a great time to tackle any task, start new projects, or simply get things moving. This could feel like some forward momentum happening. This is potentially communicating whatever you've been feeling more confidently or working on a communication project with confidence. In the morning, when we are headed to work or school, Mercury retrograding in Leo will form a trine to Chiron in Aries, offering a chance to heal old wounds through communication. This aspect is perfect for revisiting past issues with a newer perspective and finding closure. This conversation or insight you receive from this aspect could bring about increased self-awareness and feeling more confident, showing vulnerability. Try not to dwell on the past be overly dramatic or resistant to changing. Shortly after that aspect, the moon will trine Mercury retrograding in Leo, adding a bit more intensity in us, having those healing conversations, potentially with people from the past or conversations you've been avoiding prior to Mercury stationing retrograde, followed by a conjunction or the conjunction that's happening with Mercury not Mercury, I'm sorry, the moon will form a conjunction with Chiron in Aries. Um, Overall, these aspects on Friday morning is all about supporting heartfelt conversations and emotional healing, making it a great time to connect with others on a deeper level on Friday morning. Now, in the afternoon or later in the evening on Friday, the moon enters Taurus. This is bringing a more grounded and steady energy to our emotional worlds. So, with the moon shifting into Taurus, we could feel more grounded and centered Friday evening after having those healing moments in the morning. Some of us might feel a need for material comfort, so spend some time shopping or at home, enjoying some food or connecting with nature because shortly after the moon enter Taurus, it will form a square with Pluto retrograding in Aquarius. This could bring some intense emotions or power struggles to the surface. This could show up as emotional turbulence, inner conflict, resistant to change, a need for deep reflection. It could also feel like a disruption to your world. So try to let go of the need for control and do some emotional grounding exercises like practicing mindfulness, doing some sort of physical activity like exercising or some yoga. If you are on the negative expression, try to remember the Hermit tarot card, which is to rest, and that rest can also be enlightening to your journey. Also happening on Friday evening, the moon in Taurus will form a trine to the sun newly in Virgo, creating a harmonious and productive energy. So if you feel some inner conflict or confused, channel the sun in Virgo and get organized and see your situation from a more practical perspective if you aren't already. This is a great time to focus on practical matters, organize your space, or simply enjoy the comfort of routine. Mercury retrograding in Leo will then form a trine to Mars. I'm sorry, not a trine, a sextile to Mars in Gemini later in the evening as well, adding an element of assertive communication and action. This could manifest as scattered thinking, impatience, and overconfidence. This aspect is perfect for revisiting old ideas with a new perspective and making progress on projects that have been on hold before going to bed on Friday. On Saturday, August the 24th, the moon is void in Taurus all day, which means it's a great time for some routine tasks, self care, and reflection. Taurus energy likes to indulge in things like self care, food, and relaxing. So, this would be a great day to rest or take it easy. Now, the negative expression of the moon in Taurus is potentially getting hyperfixated and being stubborn about changing old routines. It's almost like working on a creative project to the point of exhaustion. Try to stay on the positive side of Taurus on Saturday and listen to your body. In the evening, the moon in Taurus will form a sextile to Saturn retrograding in Pisces, bringing a grounding and stabilizing energy to the evening. This aspect supports us finding balance and structure within our emotional world. If you've been overindulging earlier in the day, this could feel like a snap out of the moment and refocusing on important matters. I'm sorry, I said on Saturday the moon will sextile Saturn, and that's happening on Sunday, August the 25th. So on Sunday, we're starting with some grounding energy as the moon in Taurus sextile Saturn retrograding in Pisces. This early morning aspect sets a stable, reflective tone for the day. The moon in Taurus is known for its steady, practical energy, is working harmoniously with Saturn retrograding in Pisces, which can help us establish a sense of emotional responsibility and structure. Now, the positive expressions of this aspect is you might feel grounded and focused this morning, making it a great time to tackle tasks that require patience and persistence. It's an excellent time for planning, organizing, or simply reflecting on long term goals with a calm, measured approach. If you've been feeling scattered from throughout the week or last week, or feeling overwhelmed, this aspect can bring a sense of calm and clarity. Now, the negative expression of this is this energy could feel a bit heavy or restrictive, especially if you're resisting the need to slow down and reflect. There is a potential to feel burdened by responsibilities or to fall into a more serious or somber mood. If you're on the negative side of this aspect, try not to isolate yourself too much. Instead, lean into the grounding energy and see how you can use it to create stability in your life. Start your morning with a routine that grounds you, whether it's a walk outside, some gentle stretching, or even just a quiet cup of tea. Use this time to think about your emotional responsibilities and how you can bring more structure to the areas of your life that you might feel a bit chaotic in. Remember, this is a supportive energy for building a stronger foundation, so take advantage of it. And in the afternoon, as we move into the afternoon, the moon in Taurus will square Mercury retrograding in Leo right now. So this aspect can stir up some communication challenges or some mental tension. The moon in Taurus is asking us, while this aspect is happening, this could potentially be an ex popping up, or just this can bring up some past issues or misunderstandings, especially how we express ourselves. So the positive expression of this is being more mindful. And this is how you can approach this energy on Sunday. It can be an opportunity to revisit and rethink how you communicate, particularly around topics that have been difficult or tense in the past. This can be a good time to reflect on your values and how you express them in your relationships. If you're able to stay grounded, this transit can help you clarify your thoughts and express them in a more thoughtful way. However, on the negative expression, there's also a potential for some stubbornness or miscommunication, not really wanting to change. You might find yourself clashing with other people, having some arguments, especially if the issues have been unresolved. This could lead to misunderstandings or conflicts, particularly around or if you or others are feeling inflexible or resistant to seeing other people's perspectives or point of views. So like this could be you coming into an argument and really just staying stubborn and not really seeing where you're going wrong or where the other person is going wrong and vice versa. So just try to be mindful of this transit happening and wait until the situation cools down to have the conversations. So take extra care of how you express yourself. Be mindful of your words. If something doesn't feel right, it's okay to take a pause and revisit the conversation later. Like I said, focus on active listening and avoid jumping to conclusions. If you feel tension rising, take a step back and ground yourself before continuing. Sometimes a little patience and reflection can prevent a minor issue from becoming a bigger conflict. Now, in the evening on Sunday, we are more in a bit of a soothing type of energy when the moon in Taurus forms a trine to Venus in Virgo. This is a beautiful, harmonious aspect that can bring warmth, comfort, and a focus on nurturing relationships. This, the moon in Taurus and Venus in Virgo both appreciate the simple pleasures in life, So, this is a wonderful time to enjoy some relaxation and connect with your loved ones. Now, on the positive expression of this aspect, it's encouraging us to indulge in the little things that bring us joy, whether it's a home cooked meal, spending time with someone special, or simply enjoying some outdoors. It's also a good time to focus on self care, particularly in the ways that are practical and health oriented. Relationships can feel nurturing and supportive under this influence. So take the time to express your appreciation for the people around you. Now, this can also show up negatively, even though it's a trine. And this can be a tendency to overindulge or become overly fixated on details. If you're feeling stressed, there's a possibility of using comfort as a way to avoid dealing with underlying issues. So be mindful of this and try to balance between some enjoyment and mindfulness. Treat yourself on Sunday evening, and that could make you feel more cared for and connected with other people around you. So spend some quiet time in a peaceful environment and focus on the positive and nurturing aspects of your relationships and allow yourself to feel comfort and warmth from this transit. So, as the night winds down, the moon will form a conjunction with Uranus and Taurus, bringing a sudden shift in energy. Uranus is the planet that's all about surprises, innovation, and change. So, this conjunction can bring some unexpected insights or events that shake up your routine. This could be an exciting breakthrough or some new ideas in the positive expression. If you've been feeling stuck or in a rut, this transit can bring the inspiration or shift you need to move you forward. It's a time to embrace change and be open to new possibilities. So, if you're someone who enjoys thinking outside the box, this is a great time to explore those unconventional ideas that you have. However, this energy can also be a bit unsettling or disruptive, especially if you're someone who prefers stability and predictability. Unexpected changes can lead to anxiety or the feeling of being out of control. It's important to stay flexible and not resist the changes that are happening around you. So stay open-minded to whatever come your way. If you're feeling something or seeing something unexpected that happens, try to see it as an opportunity rather than a disruption. Be mindful and try to channel that hermit energy of wisdom. There's a lesson that needs to be learned in this situation. So reflect on any new insights or ideas that come up and consider how they might fit into your larger journey. This is a great time for some journaling or quiet reflection before bed, allowing any new revelations to settle into your consciousness. So, that concludes this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I hope that these insights help you navigate the day with a sense of calmness and confidence. Remember, you can always submit your astrology questions, sign up for my newsletter, and book a reading for more personalized guidance. Wishing you guys a peaceful and restful week. Stay grounded, stay open, and have a wonderful week ahead.